Dr. Honorable Omir for the general statement, what he made, and also I will start by the commenting on what he said on the Ministry of Health. Now, I'll first start with the National Audit Report. And what in National Audit Report mentioned about medicament, pack and blister, expiry of drugs. Mr. Speaker, sir, I will just remind him last year during the debate speech, again, that was the talk of the town. And what I couldn't still remember what Honorable Ganga Prasad sitting next to him did say on the National Audit Report, especially on medication, and to point out what he said that l'estimate lycien pour gardien saucisse. So far I remember this. And what does that mean? In fact, if you will go in Hansard, you will look at what reply I gave to them. The National Audit Report on drugs, on medication, doesn't date back for last year or for pack and blister or 40 years for the pandemic. It dates back years and years. And that's why we are coming with the Central Medical Procurement Bill that will be debated, I believe, in the coming sessions. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to go back and remind Honorable Omir about the National Audit Report during when his government was in power. And that would have reminded him that there was no pandemic and how equipment for millions of rupees were wasted. Second point that he raised is about the medical board to be set up centrally for those patients suffering from cancer. It is not a central board that will decide because patients will be attending regional hospitals. And those doctors who are responsible for the treatment of these patients, they will decide at that regional board. Getting one central board and with somebody who doesn't know anything about the patient, it would become very, very difficult. I believe he's going to share this with me. Now, about the 3D and 4D linear accelerator. So that was decided at a point of time. Obviously, so many years, more than 25, 30 years, we have been using the 2D linear accelerator. As my PQ, I replied the PQ by himself and Honorable Paul Béranger. Obviously, this is one step further. If we don't reach this step of getting this 3D machine and going for the 4D, it is not the equipment that will treat the patient. It is also how you do your screening, how you use this equipment, how you maintain this equipment, and how you know how to give treatment that is required. Mr. Speaker, sir, I will come on the AI of the cardiology, what has been stated in the budget speech of Honorable Dr. Rangadhanan Padiachi. He should be beyond what's happening between cardiologists. Information that was shared to him was shared to me as well. Like he said, selon mes informations. That came to me, obviously. And we should not be entertaining what this cardiologist is saying to that cardiologist. We should be above them. Why? Because our job is to see what's best for the people. And what's best for the people, I will tell you. Patients suffering from cardiac disease, what do we offer them in Mauritius? We offer them a CG test, you've got to do a CG. We offer them stress tests. We offer them angiography or angioplasty and cardiac surgeries. If we introduce something that is easy, accessible and affordable, isn't it that good for that population? Would you not prefer to say that, okay, I've done an ECG, and the next step that will be proposed to you is an angiography. And angiography is an invasive test. And if you puncture the arteries, so you are done. Is it not good if for the population we introduce something that is accessible, that we can do at the Mediclinic, that we can do in the hospital, that we can do anywhere? Is it a good thing that we introduce something, or do we enter what this cardiologist is criticizing that cardiologist? This we should not do, Mr. Speaker, sir. Now I'll go on with the e-health. I believe recently there was a PQ by Honorable Nanda Buddha on e-health. And I've given a long reply. He should have referred to answered before putting me this question, that so far, last year there was a budget of 600 million. Do you think an e-health for the population, where more than 73% of the population depend on the public health sector, with everything, with tests, with access to the clinics, to the health centers, you've got to do everything. Do you think it's a project that we are going to start it like that? Obviously, we're going to take our time, and with our time, what I stated earlier in my reply to Honorable Nanda Buddha, that the e-health project has already started. If you will read my replies, he will come to know that there are e-health already implemented in few, even for COVID tests it's implemented, and that project will take shape, and it's a stepwise project, and now the UNDP has already done is in the step of evaluation, and then the award will be done. Obviously, you won't spend the money will be there, but you have to respect the procedures. Going further, on the neurosurgical unit that he said that we have to get a neurosurgical unit in each hospital. Again, this is not planning. You can't have a neurosurgical ward or unit in all hospital when in Mauritius, the public sector has hardly 5 neurosurgeons. So it's not possible to operate in each. That would be meant for real, wastage of funds, because having everywhere in a country where you travel from east to west is hardly 30 kilometers and from north to south, and then you've got to make 5 regional neurosurgical units. It's really bad planning. Mr. Speaker, sir, so I'll come a little bit more on a general note on the critics from the opposition, the collective critics, in 2 different aspects. So firstly, they have that equation for the budget, and that equation is la dépréciation de la roupie, so that is equal to inflation, or as my colleague said it, rise in price and so on, and that is where the government is making the compensation, whatever you call it, providing compensation in the budget. And that formula is what they've been, majority of the opposition members keep on saying. But let me remind them, something that they were hiding. So first, I'm also not an economist or finance or anything, but in that formula, they missed out. What about the foreign direct investment, totaling 27.7 billion rupees in 2022? These also funds that has come to our La Caisse, and that was 50% higher than in 2021. We should account for this also. What about the manufacturing sector? When we listened to Honorable Bola, he gave us details. What has been the performance of the manufacturing sector in terms of the revenue coming to Mauritius, in terms of export, be it jewelry, be it all, small and medium enterprise, whatever be their contribution to this budget? Nothing been said. None of them has come up. But they've come to say reform. What reform will you do when the sector is doing so well? I'll again come up with tourism. Why no one is saying that for this premier trimestre de 2023, 22 milliards de roupies, recettes financières. No one pointed out that. Is it that finance coming, to the country? And I'll move on by saying that, what about the contribution of the ICT sector? We listened very well to the Mauritius Digital Promotion Agency bill at the time when Honorable Balgobin has his lecture. And there were so many companies in the offshore at Eben doing all, what is providing services for ICT. That also is not revenue. No one mentions that. But they mentioned that we should have come up with reform and whatever. And more importantly, what is there? It is the stability, political stability, social stability of the country. And that's where you will get all these foreign direct investment. No one will come to tell you that, yes, this country has a real political and social stability. I'll be a little bit further on this point. 1 week back, some of us, we've been to Eben, where the American embassy is coming up with a new, infrastructure and investing more than 3 billion rupees in this country. Do you think the United States of America will come to this country and investing that much sum of money when we heard all the opposition members saying that, this country, whatever be on this country, inflation, productivity is poor. There is so many what they've been kept on saying, that the finance is wrong, budget is only for the rich, budget dangereux, budget aggravé, le pyromane, pompier, and all that. That's what, and that's what, Mr. Speaker, sir, that's where the US government will invest 3 billion rupees. And now, as for people to understand, as simple as that, when I kept it, and I will keep on hearing the opposition members telling us that, I'll come up last Saturday. There was an event, a concert at Codan. And thanks to the metro, that all these young people, it's not only the 20,000 rupees, so many young people attended that concert because of the metro. And that's what we found there. People, how they were, young people, attended the concert. And we are saying that the economy is, very poor. It's so bad that people, they are not attending any concert. And another one is coming this week. Please, I'll invite all members to go and attend, and you will see how it's been, how Mauritius is faring well with the economy. And we'll move a little bit a few weeks back when we celebrated Eid. Have you been to the market? Have you been to any market and see how is the shopping spree? Yet the finance is doing very bad. Please go to the market of La Foire Quatre-Bonnes, La Foire Cupip, and then you will come to know what's been happening in the market. And then that, people, they are where we are going. We are not wearing any helmet, or we are not, whatever being said, we are going there, and we are really, talking to people and see what's been there in any La Foire. Now, another point, probably it's very good for, ordinary people, as you call it, or laymen, that if you want to travel, you want to go abroad, we'll come to know whether this budget is for the rich. Just phone your agence de voyage, and you ask them, I want to go to China, India, or whatever, whether that is easy to get a ticket now. Why do you think it's only rich people that are traveling? It's only rich people are traveling in this country. So these are the simple terms to just define how the economy is doing. And now, unfortunately, our honorable member, Juman, is not here. Otherwise, he kept on repeatedly saying on bijouterie and quincaillerie. But bijouterie, quincaillerie, grande surface, pouvoir d'achat, lump in one, and with our 1,000 rupees note, which at one time equivalent to 20 rupees, at other time equivalent to 500 rupees, well, it's good that we just visit these grandes surfaces and the quincailleries and jewelry, talk to those jewelers and the quincailleries, whoever, the owners, and then you will come to know how is the pouvoir d'achat, whether really goods are not being stuck over there. Please, during the weekend, do visit, and then you will come to know what is happening in that area. Now, Mr. Speaker, sir, and one more thing that it's good that if you observe, if in the morning, early morning, you've been to a grande surface, just look at the étagère. It's nearly complete, it's empty, and it's been refilled. So it means people don't go there for only visiting. People are really filling up their caddies. So these are the mere facts. It's not, coming here to give big lectures, but these are mere facts, reality, and this is what we've seen for the economy for the last 3 years. Unfortunately, I don't have time to go and read and everyone what they've been saying, but the core is this. No one has mentioned this anyway. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, sir, we know that the bubble will burst. Our popularity is at its lowest, yet we know on 1st of May what happened. We know how we were lowest and how the popularity is lowest. When 1st of May, yet none of the budget speech was yet at that time mentioned, but our popularity, we know how is it on 1st of May. Now, I'll just keep on, I'll come up to my second comment. But this one, because there were so many, you voiced out the mindset, the mind. So let me be in that profession for quite some time. So the psychological analysis of the opposition, in my way. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, it's not individual analysis, but individual analysis, rest assured you're all safe and sound, but the collective analysis. And so let's work out the collective analysis. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, the Deputy Speaker, sir, so 2 years back, they were in what we call the denial phase. They didn't accept anything. They didn't accept the election result. They didn't accept anyway. We came to know what happened after all that, and not accepting what we call in psychology denial. A little of progress, but what progress did they make? With this denial, it's still there. Now came one more thing. They got like some option. And that option is an anger option. And in anger, if you describe anger, that also have different stages. One is annoyed, what honorable members said, we are annoyed. Another one is frustrated. But that frustration, you won't see it on their face. They will have a reaction formation, it is called. You are frustrated, yet you will keep on smiling and saying, ha, hoo, and And with frustration, you become hostile. When you're angry, you can't control it, you become hostile. We've seen it. 2, 3 members, how it is with anger. And Mr. Speaker, I really fear that next year after the 5th budget, and the last stage of anger is la rage. And we hope that in Parliament, if they start behaving in la rage, so we all have to wear helmet. Not outside Parliament, but inside Parliament. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, so anyway, they have, and now a little bit deeper in analyzing. I got some time sitting over here for nearly now 12 hours and try to understand why is it so. Anyway, to my humble opinion, not a seasoned politicians, but that all came because the difficulty to concretize that alliance, the difficulty to decide about the Prime Minister, who will be the Prime Minister, the difficulty to decide who will be number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. It's a lot of issues, and I understand. And I understand that perfectly, Mr. Speaker, sir. And you know, understanding that is also, you have to understand people. And understanding means I'm free to offer free psychological support and consultation at tea break and lunchtime. And in fact, this political issue, this political crisis, and you know, when you will hear successive members tomorrow till Friday, till Monday and Tuesday, and what will happen? They will, as Honorable Manish Gobin referred to, welfare economics or Kishenomics, and they will come and will say nothing is good in this budget, and we have to be like them, you know, have a smile with them, and just say, and say, okay, we have to say, okay, we got you, I understand you perfectly. So anyway, that is not an issue. So Mr. Speaker, sir, I'll be now on my ministry, and that what I'll probably be a little bit fast, and please give me on some time I will complete, because there is so many achievements of my ministry. And if ever I won't be able to read it, obviously you'll have it on the Facebook. You can get it on the Facebook. I'm trying also to. So Mr. Speaker, sir, Mauritius been ranked among the 20 fastest growing economies in the world for the year 2022 by IMF. And there was somebody who referred to 2021 IMF report. Growth rate 8,7%, GDP 570 millions. Total investment reached 113 billion, 20% increase compared to 2021. Better outcome. Unemployment rate declined from 9.9 to 7.7 in 2022. Again, from Statistics Mauritius. And this, what the leader of opposition did not agree. He has his own statistics. Anyway, when the statistics suit them, then you refer to the Statistics Mauritius. When it doesn't suit them, they don't refer. Anyway, we've been used to this. Now, these figures prove that the strategies and economic policies are on track for the government. Pandemic was well, managed by the public health, and we brought the necessary condition to return to normal life. Three important pillars of the economy: strengthening the economy, sustaining economy, and building future, is at the core of this budget. It is proactive, visionary budget with progressive fiscal policy. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, budget clearly demonstrates government carefully considered economic circumstances while prioritizing the health and wellness of our population. In light of economic realities, this budget focuses fundamentally on affordability and accessibility as far as health and wellness of the population is concerned. Now, in spite of rising costs, government through this budget and the three preceding ones has been sustaining its investment to shore up public health systems. Under the leadership of the Prime Minister, our philosophy is to continuously enhance standard of living in each and every Mauritian. In this vein, financial envelope of 15.7 billion rupees allocated to my ministry testifies government's firm intention to provide free universal access to quality health care. So the spending is nearly spending on health has increased by nearly 75% from, in 2014, 9.2 billion to 2023, 15.7 billion. Expenditure as a percentage of GDP has improved from 2.5% in 2014 to 3% in 2023. Now, per capita government expenditure on health was 7,292 in 2014. Now it is 12,438. These are tangible results. These will call it productivity. I'll give you, I'll give some what we call productivity. Obviously, I will keep on giving the figures. Now, Mr. Speaker, sir, projects Construction of first phase of new state-of-the-art regional hospital at Constance started in September 2020, and now in this budget, funds to the tune of 950 million have been earmarked so that we can complete it by February next year. Furthermore, 375 million rupees allocated to the ongoing construction of the new eye hospital and the renal transplant unit at Nehru Hospital. So all these are so many measures. Measures include, which is very important, 20 million rupees for increased screening for cancer risk assessment and early detection. 160 million rupees to start a new papilloma virus vaccination campaign for boys and girls, which is more efficient against different strains of HPV causing different types of cancer and diseases. It's not only giving treatment to patients, but also how prevent our young generation to get cancer. Again, not only giving 20,000 rupees, but doing a lot more than this to the young generation. 220 million is earmarked for high-tech equipment, new cancer hospital. That is, the equipment is already on the evaluation stage. And also important is the continuous glucose monitor for some 1,000 type 1 diabetes patients. Type 1 diabetes patient. What is type 1 and type 2? Type 1 is those who have no insulin in their blood to control their sugar. And type 2 is those patients who have insulin but resistant insulin that can't control the glucose. Now, it's good to point out that the digitalization project, I've already given a detail, and I will invite PQs on e-health so that I can give more details. Now, another thing that is important, it's very good to point out that to provide quality and accessible patient-centered services, what's going to happen more is a mandatory feedback mechanism that will be introduced in hospital on care being delivered to patients. It's important to get feedback and then we can improve. 2, partnership with the National Health Services of the United Kingdom under the government-to-government initiative to carry out quality assurance and audit of clinical and overall healthcare services in hospital. Another one is a carnet de santé for elderly above 60 years. Children in the Republic diagnosed with cancer will benefit from the financial assistance that has already been canvassed by my colleagues. And the introduction of a new standalone leave of 5 days for workers who have experienced pregnancy loss. Very important measure, because after a pregnancy loss, there is a lot of psychological issues, and that with that, it's not going to solve all the issues, but it's very important that we give these 5 days leave for those women who lost their baby. Now, their removal of VAT and custom duty on glass ceramic blocks for dental use, medical grade silicone and instruments and appliances used in medical, surgical, dental will be zero rated for VAT purposes. Monthly incontinence allowance of 1,800 rupees to be extended to patients suffering from cancer of prostate, cancer of bladder, Alzheimer's, and stroke. So these are all benefits, for the whole population. And this budget doesn't mean a budget for the rich. Mr. Speaker, sir, there are also some legislative and institutional framework to underpin, and those are the amendments in consumer protection to provide no tobacco products to be displayed for sale except in duty-free shops. Ayurvedic and other traditional medicine act will be amended to cater for specialists in traditional medicine. Medical Council Act will be amended to empower the Medical Council to establish clinical guidelines intended to optimize patient care, provide for the terms of Office of Disciplinary Tribunal. Now, the Pharmacy Act also will be amended to facilitate development of local pharmaceutical manufacturing sector in Mauritius. Mr. Speaker, sir, this government, under the Honorable Prime Ministership of Pravin Kumar Jagannath has been working relentlessly to recover impact of COVID-19 pandemic. We can't forget this. Government has implemented various measures to support businesses and individuals during this period. This will be, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, remembered for ages. Yet, editorials were not written, but nevertheless, to mention these facts, they will never give these facts, but yet, still, they do proclaim themselves as true patriots. Mr. Speaker, sir, again, la gestion de la COVID est une fierté pour la nation mauricienne. Leader of the opposition, I don't know, yesterday, he came up with a report of Johns Hopkins University on lockdown. What he's saying is that we shouldn't have put lockdown during that time. And would you imagine what would have been the impact without a lockdown when you know how this virus is contagious, is fatal? You know, I don't know where he is, but I'm sorry to say that, and somebody referring to what has been in UK and compared to Mauritian with a population, elderly population, high, you know, a percentage of diabetes, what would have been the impact? Anyway, he takes his responsibility. He also mentioned that nous avons eu beaucoup plus de décès à cause de la COVID. Ah, Mr. Speaker, sir. In 2019, nous avons eu 10 911 décès, 2020, 10 768, 2021, 12 990 et 2022, 12 581 décès. Excess mortality in Mauritius, including COVID-19, as a percentage of total registered deaths estimated at around 11% in 2021. Now, selon le rapport de l'OMS, il y a eu dans le monde une hausse en moyenne de 20% dans le nombre de cas de décès pendant la période de COVID. It's not only in Mauritius, and again, keep on doing politics on, you know, death of people, and that is, anyway, that is the state of mind of some people. Mr. Speaker, sir, notre Premier ministre a fait preuve de courage quand il fallait prendre des décisions en faveur de la santé et de la sécurité de chacun de nos citoyens. Factuel. Il a montré de la compassion pour que ce gouvernement aide les plus vulnérables. And what is the reaction? That we've taken money from Bank of Mauritius and given it, you know, and we flouted with that money. This is the fact, because le Premier ministre a montré de la compassion. Il a veillé à limiter au maximum les pertes d'emploi. This is again a fact, not flouting BOM money. Face à une crise économique sans précédent, le Premier ministre a su préserver les acquis mauriciens. We all agree on this point. We should not debate on it. C'est cela la réalité. Mr. Speaker, sir, year 2020, while we were at the peak of COVID-19 crisis, government came up with this health sector strategic plan. Where are we with that? More than 50% of the 603 activities regrouped into 26 strategic goals have already been completed, while over 40% were in progress, 10% planned in the forthcoming years. So there is a clear health sector strategic plan. And with the help of dedicated health personnel, from nursing to medical to non-medical staff, I want to congratulate, and in a period of unprecedented turmoil, that this government has achieved more than one could have expected. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, various action plans being implemented in my ministry. National Action Plan to reduce harmful use of alcohol, 45% implemented. National Action Plan on tobacco control, 20% achieved. National Cancer Control Plan, 30% achieved. National Action Plan for oral health, 50% achieved. National Action Plan on integrated care for older people, 8% achieved. This is called productivity. National Breastfeeding Action Plan, 15% achieved. National Action Plan for Prevention of Sexually Transmitted Infection, 10% achieved. And National Sexual and Reproductive Health Policy, 18% achieved. Let me highlight some of the other achievements of the public health sector. where 73% of the population rely entirely, 8.8 million contacts for a year. I'm sorry, 3.2 million attendances at casualty, accident and emergency department. 1.8 million recorded in primary health care. Contacts mean consultation with doctors, psychologists, nutritionists, physiotherapists, patients coming for dressing, blood tests, family planning, screening, and all that. 166,000 admissions were registered. 49,000 surgeries were performed. 228,000 patients attended dental health services in 2022. And the expenses, if we based on our health estimate, it cost the government 700 rupees for each consultation. A service to be provided when cut set, be it cyclone, be it bad weather, be it, and to make provision from the doorstep to transport, catering, medication, high-end services. Yet, opposition will only criticize those, medication is not there, but they won't see what is the volume of work that's being done. In 2019, 807 cardiac surgeries. 2022, 974. Open heart surgeries in the private cost in Mauritius 600,000 rupees. And if we would have operated all these patients, it would have cost us 568 millions. Angiography and angioplasty, 2019, 4,700, 2022, 5,700. Is it called improvement? Tangible? Measurable? Achievable? Yes. Angiography in private clinic costs 35,000. And if you place one stent, costs 200,000. And this being free in the public sector. And that would have cost us more than 200 million. Now, introduction of primary PCI, if ever you've come to the hospital with the cardiac issues, immediately you are, and that was introduced thanks to the Minister of Finance, that last year we introduced that. And since last year, we've done 320 primary PCI in the government health, and saved all these lives. Spinal surgeries, in last year we did 30 scoliosis surgeries. That is a problem of the spine. If you would have done this in private clinics, 2.5 million that would have cost. So these 30 patients benefited from the hospital. 15,000 chemotherapy sessions. You know how much it costs? It can cost you from 15,000 to 70,000 in private clinics. And if we would have done these 15,000 chemotherapy sessions in the private, it would have cost us from 225 million to 1 billion rupees. So this government has made the health of the population a priority, unlike others, because we will keep on hearing them saying a lot of issues on this budget, but those who introduce property taxes, taxes on interest, and qui ont même mis fin à la distribution de pain dans les écoles. So this government is really, this is what is called achievement. Endoscopy, this is an important task being done in 2022. 10,500 sessions being done compared to 7,000 in 2019. In the private sector, it costs 15,000 rupees, and this would have cost 157 million in the private sectors. Cataract, you know very well it's a common disease of the elderly. 7,800 cataract surgeries been done last year compared to 7,200 in 2019. They won't see that. They will keep on coming with pack and blister, molnupiravir, so the same refrain. I'm quite a good singer, but that refrain is... that refrain, no one wants to hear anyway. Caesarean section, 3,700 sections performed. And now we introduce the epidural anesthesia for pregnant women. And every week, around 50 epidural anesthesia being done for women in labor. And Dr. Honorable Omien knows that very well, how it is beneficial to do epidural anesthesia for pregnant women in labor. So this budget announced the introduction of 22 budget, 24/7 services for specialists in gynecology, for women, pediatrics, for children, and anesthesia. The implementation has proved to provide better and efficient services for maternal health. Obstetric units in the hospital are equipped with brand new echography machines, CTG machines, cardiac monitors, Doppler sets, fetal Doppler sets to provide optimal care of women. Fertility clinic has been set up. Never before a government has given much consideration for the health of women and children in our republic. This is stark contrast between consideration given to women under this government and the leadership of Honorable Pravin Kumar Jagnat and that of the opposition when they were in power. Much is being done for the health of women, but also for newborn. Yes, Mr. Speaker, so I know I will probably start my summing up conclusion. Today, 44 neonatal ventilators in Mauritius plus 1 in Rodrigues Island. Forecast for the HSSP for the plan was to have 40 by 24. Already we have 44 now. Mr. Speaker, sir, this is called, like the Metro said it, that the future is on time. I'm just repeating. If I keep on saying what we'll be doing for the dialysis patient, you will be, amazed of how much work being done by this, for dialysis patient. Now, Mr. Speaker, sir, it's so easy. C'est très facile de faire le procès du service public et de critiquer. Mais il faut aussi reconnaître le travail acharné du personnel soignant. Il faut être honnête, soyons honnêtes. Certains politiciens exploitent les problèmes quotidiens qui peuvent surgir dans pratiquement tous les systèmes de santé en ce qui concerne le manque de médicaments. It's obvious, I accept it. Les heures d'attente, les quelques membres du personnel qui ne sont pas dévoués à leur travail. Ils projettent ainsi une image entièrement négative et mettent ainsi en péril la confiance des Mauriciens dans la santé publique. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, what I want to say, a service where daily you have to attend to nearly 20,000, because I said the figure earlier, that it's 8.8 million. And obviously, there would be maybe 10 or at times 50 complaints. I agree, I totally accept it. But if you compare to that figures and you divide it, it hardly makes 0.002 or 5. And we should understand that we have to, I accept that there are complaints, whatever, be it medication, shortage, accept. But there are issues that are beyond our control, and we have to accept. But we have to keep on improving, but not come and do politics on that. Mr. Speaker, sir, we have foreign teams coming to Mauritius. It's a long list. You can have it. You can look at it at my Facebook. And so many. What we introduce, new surgeries. First time we've done what we call cochlear implants in Mauritius. It costs huge sum of money outside. And we've got so many collaboration with so many doctors coming to Mauritius and doing surgeries in here. Mr. Speaker, sir, I won't be able to give all this. I will probably...
You have at least energy 5 minutes from what I'm informed by the Chief Whip.
So thank you, Mr. Speaker. So I'll just scrolling again back. So just to give us what's been, there are the visit of Professor Martin to do 15 complex spinal surgeries, but Professor Baskar to do 6 orthopedic surgeries, Ramalingam to do, perform surgeries on patients suffering from ENT problem, Professor Da Cruz, world famous, the professor who operated on Cléane Papillon, the miracle baby, performed 27 complex surgeries in Mauritius. Dr. Douglas West, consulted surgeon from Bristol, performed complex thoracic surgeries. Professor Leviziel, Professor Dr. Shetty, Dr. Khan, all these doctors did a lot of eye surgeries. And we have the privilege to welcome Professor Balaji, who did a lot of maxillofacial surgeries in Mauritius. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, it's not only these doctors, we even have collaboration with our diaspora. And those doctors, they are in close contact with the ministry to to do a lot of work. So just to give you what's coming up for a set of action plans, Ministry has already come up with the National Action Plan on HIV and AIDS, National Action Plan on Public Health Security, very important because we don't want to face what we faced with COVID-19, so public security is important. National Action Plan on NCDs, diabetes and hypertension, National Action Plan on Nutrition, coming soon, National Action Plan on Adolescent Health, again, a very important that we keep in our heart that will come during this fiscal year. This is what the ministry is doing. I will also probably have some time to say about the auditing of the health facilities. There is Dr. Hung, who came up, a public health specialist from France, and he's doing the clinical auditing of our service. Mauritian diaspora, as stated earlier, have come up. Dr. Arvind Bandhu, American of Mauritian origin, neonatologist, is reviewing our neonatology department. Professor Ritu Banerjee, British citizen of Mauritian origin from Cambridge University, will carry out clinical audit of cardiac services in public health. Dr. Niamal Tulwa, again, he was at one time the laureate in Mauritius, British citizens of Mauritius origin, has carried out complicated surgery in orthopedics, pediatric surgery, and will continue to collaborate. So there are all these professors, Mauritian nationals, coming back home, doing surgeries, whom I want to thank them for their collaboration and for the health of the Mauritian population. Mr. Speaker, sir, I will conclude that, so bear with me, I'm just looking for the conclusion. It's not long, Mr. Speaker, sir. So,
you have a couple of more minutes.
Yes, sir. So, the vision of this government is to bring health services at the doorstep of the population. Just to give us what we've achieved, the Republic of Mauritius has already achieved some of the health-related SDGs, targets set for 2030. For example, in 2022, the under 5 mortality rate was 16.5% for 1,000 live births, compared to global target 25. Neonatal mortality rate per 1,000 live births, 8.9% compared to global target 12, already achieved. Maternal mortality ratio was 41 per 100,000 live births compared to global 70, already good figures. So this vision of the government is obviously in terms of universal health coverage, Mauritius is one of the highest performers in Africa according to WHO. In the realm of health and wellness, the words of Shakespeare ring true, as he famously wrote in Hamlet. There is nothing either good or bad, but thinking, again mind, makes it so. So our thoughts and perceptions greatly influence our well-being. By cultivating a positive and optimistic mindset, we can transform our outlook on life and enhance our overall health. Le budget 2023-2024 traduit la vision de notre Premier ministre et de son gouvernement pour une île Maurice moderne, juste, équitable pour notre nation et les générations futures. I would like to thank all the staff working in the public and private health sectors. They contribute a lot for their dévouement, sacrifice, hard work for the health of the population. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir.
Thank you very much. I'll give you the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir. I know all of them are waiting when I will finish my intervention. But before I start my intervention, I must express my great disappointment regarding the absence of so many members of the opposition side in the National Assembly at this time. The fact that there are few opposition members present in this House raises doubt about how much importance they attach to this debate. However, those honorable members who are present, I thank them heartily. Let me come up to my intervention, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Sir. Tonight, as I intervene in this August Assembly on the appropriation 2023-2024 bill in my capacity as the Minister of Public Service, Administrative and Institutional Reform, I feel a profound sense of pride and responsibility to be a part of a government who has at heart the interests and the welfare of the most vulnerable groups of our society, which includes the elderly, children, the youth, and the workers. The presentation of the national budget annually, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, is a momentous occasion in the life of a nation, as it establishes the vision, defines the strategies, and proposes measures for achieving economic prosperity for all, while ensuring a fair and equitable distribution of the wealth. Late Sir Anirudh Jagannath rightly stated, I quote, "The economy has to be at the service of the population. Our focus has to be centered on the people of Mauritius," end of quote. At the very outset, I wish to thank the Honorable Prime Minister, Pravin Kumar Jagannath, for his able leadership and for guiding the government to strive for the betterment and welfare of one and all, and in particular, the Chijimun. All the budget crafted under his leadership, or even during the time he was Minister of Finance, a special consideration have always been given to the most vulnerable groups of society, and he has always demonstrated that he has the best interests of our citizens at heart. In the same breath, I would like to congratulate my colleague, the Honorable Minister of Finance and Economic Development, Dr. Renganaden Padayachi, for presenting a budget that meets the aspiration of all segments of the population, provides the means for redynamizing the economic sectors and promoting a more inclusive society. Monsieur le Vice-président, cela me rappelle de mon enfance, où tous les membres de la famille se réunissaient avec impatience en attendant la présentation du budget national. Ce pour prendre connaissance des différentes mesures qui seraient annoncées par le ministre des Finances pour améliorer les conditions de la vie de la population en général, et notamment les mesures qui leur seraient bénéfiques ainsi qu'à leur famille. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, the day of budget presentation was, is, and will always be a day of special significance for every citizen. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, it is widely recognized that the Mauritian economy is showing clear signs of recovery and is back on the growth path. Businesses that weathered the storm are back to business and are experiencing renewed growth and consumer confidence. All the sectors of our economy, be it the tourism sector, financial services, and manufacturing, are doing well and are gradually achieving pre-COVID pandemic level. New job opportunities are emerging for our youth, giving way to a sense of stability and a renewed sense of purpose and confidence in our economy. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, it's true. It's true. We have stumbled in the face of the disruptive forces of COVID-19 pandemic. But we did not falter. Despite the havoc caused by the deadly pandemic, we have bounced back admirably, thanks to the strategies and measures taken by this government to rebuild the economy in the aftermath of the pandemic. Indeed, Mauritius has shown to the world our determination to rise above those challenges. This reminds me of a quote from Mahatma Gandhi. I quote, "If I have a belief that I can do it, I shall surely acquire the capacity to do it, even if I may not have it at the beginning." End of quote. Today, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, this government has successfully reversed a GDP of the negative 15% in 2020 to a positive growth of 8.7% last year. This is really a feat, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, when bigger nations like UK, Germany, and France has registered slower economic growth, 4%, 1.8%, and 2.6% respectively. Last year, a global growth of 3.4% was recorded, and emerging economies and sub-Saharan countries recorded growth of 4% and 3.9% respectively. However, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, we still have to face new challenges and uncertainties emanating from the Ukraine and Russia war. All the economic actors should devise the right strategies to overcome the challenges and keep the economy on the growth trajectory. This budget, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, epitomizes the vision of Honorable Prime Minister, a true leader of our time. And this reminds me of what he said during the summing of the Appropriation Bill 2017-2018 in his capacity as then Prime Minister and Minister of Finance. I quote, "Almost 5 decades of independence, of perseverance and hard work have taught us that progress can only be achieved if we make fundamental choices when we have to." End of quote. Mr. Speaker, sir, once again, this government has taken a decisive step towards embracing a socialist approach with measures that will pave the way for a brighter future for all our citizens. The budget places significant emphasis on affordable living for our citizens as we strive to build an inclusive and fair society where every citizen can lead a life of dignity and fulfillment. For the first time in our history, a government is taking the responsibility of a citizen from the time of his birth to post-retirement. En effet, Monsieur le Vice-président, dès sa naissance, l'État s'engage à prendre en charge sa santé, lui confère une allocation financière appréciable et faciliter son épanouissement dans une crèche. Par la suite, l'État prend entièrement en charge son éducation, dès le pré-primaire jusqu'à la fin de ses études universitaires, aussi bien que des formations pour accéder au marché du travail, tout en assurant aussi un salaire minimum décent tout au long de sa carrière. Une fois à la retraite, une allocation vieillesse décente est garantie, ainsi d'une autre allocation sociale. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, this is a general, almost national acknowledgement that this government has, in the budget 2023-2024, has fait la part belle au social, except the members of the opposition who are claiming that not enough have been done. They persist in painting a dark picture everywhere. Comment te dire? For them, I have this saying from John Kennedy, former President of the United States of America. I quote, "We are not here to curse the darkness, but to light the candle that can guide us to a safe and sane future." End of quote. Tu sais, toi. This government, one and only one, this government will go down in history as the one who introduced the minimum wage, and this measure has uplifted more than 85,000 citizens from the shackle of poverty. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, the members of the opposition are also advocating that the purchasing power of the Mauritians are eroding. And the government has not proposed any measures to restore the purchasing power of our citizens. This is not true, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir. This government has spent 3 billion rupees to support the citizens against increasing prices, which is due to fluctuations and uncertainties in the global market. As our country is a net importer of food, which are subject to imported inflation. Despite the adverse effect of the war between Russia and Ukraine on the price of gas, government is maintaining the price of 12 kilo cylinder of cooking gas at 240 rupees instead of the market price at 595 rupees, as well as maintaining our subsidies on basic commodities, rice and flour. Additionally, government is providing financial assistance to our citizens in various ways, aimed at helping them to cope with the impact of price increases. Contrary to the claims made by Honorable Boda, unfortunately, he is not present at this time. Hope he is watching us live. In his recent press conference, where he stated that we are, I quote, un gouvernement qui n'est pas capable de descendre le terrain. I wish to inform the honorable member that this government remains deeply connected to the grassroots. A message to the honorable members of the opposition side: nous tous les temps capables de descendre le terrain. Parce que nous sommes un gouvernement qui travaille dans l'intérêt de la population. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, as usual, I had the opportunity to spend time in my constituency during the weekend. And I have been in more than 10 villages, to attend various events. It was very clear that the budget had received widespread appreciation from our citizens. They do not share the same opinion of members of the opposition who, due to lack of arguments, qualify this budget as budget la bouche douce, budget confetti, ou PNOL. The measures proposed in the 2023-2024 budget have instilled a resounding feel-good factor, reinforcing the notion that this government can still actively engage and address the needs of the people at the ground level. We are a government with the people, for the people, and by the people. The population at large knows that it is this government that works day and night in the best interest of our nation. Nous sommes des bâtisseurs, Monsieur le Vice-président. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I must also refer to the World Happiness Report 2023, which ranked Mauritius as the happiest country in Africa and the 59th happiest country in the world out of 149 countries. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, with your permission, I will now highlight the salient features of the budget which will pave the way to a stronger, more resilient, and robust economic based on deeply encroached values that have always characterized every action of this government, namely sharing, caring, compassion, equity, justice, and fairness. A lot of measures have been taken by this government and initiated, but I will not elaborate all of them, as the list is very long. The dignity of our workers has no price. They represent our real asset and will remain forever our pride. I listened carefully to Honorable Shakil Mohammed. During his intervention, he, as always, very dramatic, trying to impress the viewers, everyone, telling that this government have not done anything till now. And from what I have listened, I just want to ask him a question. When he was Minister of Labor, what he did for the employees of the private sector, what he did in his ministry, I am just wondering whether he has been able to do things which really today we shall be proud of. But unfortunately, I can't remember, nor I have any clues on it. As a responsible government, we firmly committed to ensuring a decent income for our population. We firmly believe that every individual deserves a fair wage that acknowledges their efforts. In this context, this government has taken a bold step to provide a guaranteed monthly minimum revenue of 15,000 rupees, and this measure will directly benefit 85,000 employees, both for private and public sector. This measure has sparked a wave of enthusiasm and a sense of optimism and hope among the workers. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, as we move forward, we are undertaking a comprehensive tax reform initiative aimed at reducing the tax burden on the middle class. Accordingly, employees earning up to 390,000 annually will be exempted of tax. This demonstrates our commitment to improving further the quality of life of the middle-income earners and restore their purchasing power. Through this transformative tax reform, we demonstrate our willingness to promote a fair and just society where economic prosperity is shared by all and ensuring that taxation aligns with the principles of equity. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, in our unwavering commitment to prioritize the welfare and development of our children, we have introduced a new initiative that will further strengthen child support. To provide crucial assistance to families, we will be introducing the CSG child allowance, providing a monthly stipend of 2,000 rupees for approximately 48,000 children aged up to 3 years. This measure, coupled with the earlier announcement of free primary education, aims to encourage Mauritian families to have more children by easing their financial burden and also address the issue of the aging population. These holistic measures bear testimony to our commitment to empowering every child, ensuring they have access to proper education. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, in recognition of the valuable contribution and well-being of our elderly citizens and the most vulnerable groups, our government is taking significant measures to further support them. By increasing all basic pensions, we are alleviating the financial burdens of all the vulnerable groups of our society. We are ensuring a more dignified livelihood for our elderly, widows, individuals with disabilities and orphans. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, allow me here to express my gratitude to the Honorable Prime Minister, the Honorable Minister of Finance, Economic Planning and Development for the consideration given to my constituency number 10 in this budget. From 2020 onwards, numerous development projects such as market fair, mediclinic, sports infrastructures and drainage infrastructures, among others, have been initiated and are now approaching their completion. Some have already been completed, and some will be inaugurated soon, while some projects will start soon. As a former chairperson of the Flag District Council, I can confidently affirm that never before have local authorities been allocated such a substantial budget. It is truly commendable to witness the unprecedented support given to local authorities that will no doubt have a transformative impact on the lives of the residents we serve. The disparity between rural and urban areas will soon be things of the past. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I am delighted also over the years that the entire district of Flag relied on a single fire station located in Flag to cater for all surrounding villages. However, the government took a significant step last year by announcing the construction of a new fire station at Montagne Blanche, which is presently in progress. And in this budget, I am pleased to note that a satellite fire station, this time, will be constructed at Bel-Air Rivière-Chasse. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, let me come up to my ministry. My ministry ensures that each and every organization in the different ministries and departments are properly staffed with the right person, being posted in the right place at the right time to do the right job. As a Minister of Public Service, Administrative and Institutional Reform, I take this opportunity to express my gratitude to the thousands of public officers for their dedications and selfless efforts. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I will have the opportunity to celebrate these unsung heroes on the 22nd June 2023, when we are going to commemorate the UN Public Service Day 2023. Along the same lines, the Public Officers Council, which operates under the aegis of my ministry, caters for the welfare of public officers and their families and organizes a series of sports, educational, recreational, and leisure activities for the benefit of public officers all throughout the year. I wish to thank my colleague, the Honorable Dr. Padachi, for increasing the grant of the Public Officers Council from 5 million rupees to 6.5 million rupees to cater for inter alia, part of the cost of operation of the fitness center. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I will now refer to what Honorable Osman Mohammed, unfortunately he is not here, but hope he is watching us live at this time. Okay. Hope he is watching us live. Okay. So I would like to thank the Honorable Member for his interest yesterday during his intervention in the public service and showing so much care towards the public officers. I don't know what he has against me. However, I also note that with great concern that he's not well acquainted with the measures that have been taken in this budget in the favor of the public officers. Without embarking in any sort of controversy, I just want to remind the honorable member that I am not disappointed at all. I am not disappointed at all. On the contrary, I had a number of consultations with the Honorable Minister of Finance, Economic Planning and Development. I will recommend the honorable member to take note of the following measures that will benefit the public service and the public officers. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I wish to highlight that my colleague, the Honorable Minister of Finance and Economic Development, has enumerated at least a dozen measures that will directly benefit public officers by increasing capacity to provide public services, improving their total disposable income, and providing them with better means to deliver. These measures range from recruitment of an additional 1,400 staff in the public health sector, recruitment of 1,000 police constables, and promotion of 833 police constables to the rank of police corporal, enlistment of 220 educators for primary schools, 200 educators for secondary schools, 14 educators for science students, and 50 school clerk. The infrastructure of the judiciary will be improved through rolling out of the e-judiciary system, recruitment of 6 new judges and 14 magistrates. Overall, 8,220 vacancies have been funded in this budget for the public service, out of which 4,596 at entry level and 3,624 at promotional level. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, the progressive income tax measures will directly, please note, will directly benefit at least 26,188 public officers drawing less than 30,000 rupees monthly and who will now be exempted from paying direct tax. Presently, there are 46,250 public officers benefiting from the CSG income allowance of 1,000 rupees monthly. As from 1st July 2023, écoutez un peu là, 22,700 officers drawing less than 25,000 rupees monthly will benefit from a monthly allowance of 2,000 rupees. 23,550 officers drawing more than 25,000 rupees will continue to benefit from a monthly allowance of 1,000 rupees. Regarding the revenue minimum guarantee of 15,000 rupees monthly, as from 1st July 2023, more than 4,000 public officers at the lowest ranks of the hierarchy of the public sector will benefit from an improvement in the monthly income. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, the measures initiated under the improvement of work-life balance pertaining to 5 days leave for loss of pregnancy, utilization of the totality of sick leave entitlement to cater for children with health care issues, and up to 10 days to take care of parents and grandparents with health-related issues will also be applicable to the public service. Pan fait même non, yeah? Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I wish to also refer to what Honorable Usman Mohammed stated during his intervention in the Appropriation Bill 2022-2023 last year, where he quoted what Lee Kuan Yew, former Prime Minister of Singapore, stated about the public service of Singapore. Allow me to quote Peter Drucker, widely regarded as a father of management thinking. I quote, "Effective leadership is not about making speeches or being liked. Leadership is defined by results, not attributes," end of quote. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, since I assumed the responsibility of this ministry, I had a vision for this ministry. To turn your vision into reality, you need to have the characteristic of an effective leader. Here, whatever I am today, if today I'm sitting in this parliament, it's because of the way I do things, my uniqueness. You need to have courage, patience, and vision. I was not born with a golden spoon in my mouth. This I can tell you. Sometimes when I listen to some honorable members telling that, yes, even if I can recall, Honorable Usman Mohammed once said that he was working at Singapore. And at that time, Dr. Navina Ghulam called him to be as candidate. If I'm not mistaken, it's like this. But just, I want to pursue further. You know, your degree is just a piece of paper. Real education is seen in your behavior. With each day passing, I am filled with a sense of pride and satisfaction as I witness the realization of those visions. All of them will become reality by the end of next financial year. I know what I'm saying. We are forging a bright future for our citizens and establishing a more efficient and responsive public sector. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I will now briefly highlight the main achievement of my ministry. The Human Resource Development Management of my ministry ensures, among others, that the public service is managed with adequate human resource, both in quantity and quality, with a view to implementing government policies, strategies, projects, and programs effectively. In this context, in order to ensure that funds allocated to the filling of vacancies are used to the optimal level, my ministry closely monitors the exercise of filling of vacancies across the public service. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I am pleased to announce to the House that this is the very first time that my ministry has exceeded, listen carefully what I'm telling, the set target of filling more than 70% of vacancies, which was a key performance in the financial year. Today, as I am intervening, 80% of these vacancies will be filled, which represent a marked improvement as compared to financial year 2021-2022, where only 69% of vacancies were filled. Last financial year, we have also extended the age limit for entry in the public service from 40 to 45 years for all grades, except for the workmen group, which has remained at 48 years. And I still remember my friend, Honorable Jagatpal, telling me, and see to it, and from 40 to 50 years for grades requiring a postgraduate degree, together with years of post-qualification experience as co-qualification with a view to attracting qualified and experienced candidates in the service, those really in those sectors where we have scarcity. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, all recruitment and promotion in the service are based on the relevant provision in scheme of service. However, the prescription of those documents entail lengthy and tedious procedures. In this context, last year, under the Sandbox framework, my ministry developed an online scheme of service platform on a pilot basis in 5 ministries. These ministries can now upload the scheme of service and have those schemes processed and prescribed in a transparent and timely manner. Consultation interactions between different stakeholders are being carried out concurrently on the online electronic platform. This system will also promote greater transparency, synergy, and among all stakeholders. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, my ministry also has a key role to play in the effective implementation of the recommendations of the PRB reports. The PRB report 2021 has made a total of 911 recommendations pertaining to ministries and departments. I am pleased to inform to the House that 90% of those recommendations have already been successfully implemented. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, if we are to have modern, responsive, and efficient public sector, we cannot rely on traditional skill. It is essential for the public service to keep pace and to be attuned to the prevailing fast-changing environment, requiring public officers to assimilate new skills and attitudes throughout their career while bringing about the right orientation. To have a high-performing organization, the public sector organization must align and integrate training of employees with their transformation plans, changes in their operation and processes, and digitalizing initiatives. They must have in place a formal, systematic, and rigorous evaluation of learning and development. Training and development have always ranked high on government agenda. It is critical for a modern and vibrant public service and an essential element for the overall human resource development in the public sector. The philosophy of my ministry is to make training a prerequisite for all officers joining the service. It is the objective of my ministry to ensure that, as prescribed in the successive PRB reports, all civil servants benefit from 40 to 60 hours of meaningful work-related training opportunities annually to keep them abreast of new knowledge, techniques, technologies, and upgrade their skill. During this financial year, my ministry, through the Civil Service College, the Occupational Safety and Division, Health Division, and bilateral support of donor countries, has provided training of a total of around 17,500 public officers. This has exceeded the set out target of 12,000 that was announced in last year's budget estimate. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, to further enhance our training capacity, my ministry is currently setting up a state-of-the-art infrastructure to accommodate the Civil Service College Mauritius, with a modern facility equipped with cutting-edge technologies comprising an academic block and auditorium. These infrastructures will enable the college to offer all public officers with meaningful work-related training opportunities in a more conducive environment and to establish linkages with overseas training institutes. I am pleased to inform the House that construction works of the academic block has reached a progress of 49% and that of the auditorium to a progress of 28%. It is expected by the end of August 2023, more than 70% of the project would be completed and that the scheduled completion date of end of this year would be achieved. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, we are living in a digital age and the public sector is bound to transform with new technologies to keep up the pace. The Public Sector Transformation Bureau in my ministry is encouraging projects to transform the way of doing business. In this context, last year I informed the House that my ministry embarked on the EHR project. The EHR project aims at digitalizing the core functionalities of human resource management at the level of ministry and departments, mainly leave management system, prescription of scheme of service, performance management, employee management, and self-service. As at date, the leave management system has been rolled out in 78 public organizations. Public officers of these organizations can now apply for their leaves online and obtain approval thereof through SMS and email. Moreover, the officers can check their leave balances online. As at date, 32,415 employees, representing 57% of public officers, are using the system for application of their leaves. The remaining components of the EHR project are expected to be completed by August 2023. The EHR platform has been designed to interface with a government IT system relating to public officers, such as e-payslip developed by CSD, the passage benefit, and car loan system, which is currently being developed by the Accountant General, and the scheme of service system currently being developed under the Sandbox framework. I'm also pleased to announce that an electronic document management system which incorporates best practices in digitally enabled process is being implemented on a pilot basis at my ministry. The project is fully funded by the United Nations Development Programme. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, government firmly believes that the accelerated adoption of innovative technologies and digitally enabled process in the public sector, as well as in other sectors, will have ripple and catalytic effect on the socio-economic development of our country. As announced, the two key laudable initiatives, namely the e-health and e-judiciary system, will pave the way for a more resilient, responsive, and citizen-centric institution by providing uninterrupted, timely, and quality services to citizens, businesses, and other stakeholders. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, to dare and to care, the philosophy of this budget encapsulates the sense of vision for a progressive and compassionate nation. This government is demonstrating its empathy, compassion, and commitment to uplifting the lives of all our citizens, to ensure that no one is left behind on the path to progress. Monsieur le Vice-président, il s'agit d'un budget socialiste qui correspond sans le moindre doute aux attentes de tous les segments de la population, mais surtout ceux qui sont les plus vulnérables. As rightly pointed out by the renowned French author Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, I quote, "As for your future, your task is not to foresee it, but to enable it." End of quote. This is what this government has done in this budget, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir. I am done, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Precise 40 minutes. Honourable Sandra Mayer, please.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I move to the adjournment of the debate for tomorrow, 7th of June, 2000.
No, only debate. No problem. Seconded. The question is that the debate be adjourned. Those in favour say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I move for the adjournment of the Assembly to tomorrow, Wednesday, 7th of June, 2023 at 11:30 a.m.
The question is that the House be adjourned to Wednesday, 7th of June 2023 at 11:30 a.m. Those in favour say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Hold on. We have an adjournment matter.
Yes, Monsieur le Président,
Don't make noise, please.
Monsieur le Président, ma requête s'adresse au vice-premier ministre, le docteur Arnaud Rosnou, qui s'occupe du dossier de live cattle par rapport à la fête Eid al-Adha qui est prévue le 29 juin 2023. Dans une déclaration exclusive au journal Star, le docteur Arnaud Rosnou a déclaré que la MMA s'est engagée à importer 1 millier de têtes de bétail en provenance de l'Afrique du Sud et qu'une équipe d'officiers de la MMA, comprenant vétérinaires, s'est rendue en Afrique du Sud pour assister à l'embarquement du bétail à destination de Maurice, c'est-à-dire plus d'un mois avant la fête de Eid al-Adha. La déclaration a été faite le 14 mai dans le journal Star. Il a aussi déclaré que si en l'étant, MMA pour importer plus de 1000 animaux et nous sommes capables de donner un bon prix à nos consommateurs. Le docteur Norosnou, l'honorable Norosnou, a aussi confirmé que le gouvernement a alloué une somme importante à la MMA pour l'importation de bétail.
Honorable Adila Miamia.
Yes.
The request.
Okay, I'll go to the request. Okay, I'll go to it.
Listen to at least 5 to 6
Okay,
slides.
I
The
won't be
request,
long.
please.
I won't be long. Just less
Everybody's
than a minute,
here.
I'll be with. So,
No.
my request.
One line for the request.
No, I'll make my request now.
Yes, please.
So, ma requête ce soir, je demande au vice-premier ministre de clarifier la situation et de confirmer si la MMA importera des live cattle comme mentionné dans l'hebdomadaire et aussi d'éclairer la Chambre et tous ceux concernés. Qu'en est-il du prix par kilo? Quand est-ce que le prix va être finalisé? Car ce n'est pas possible que chaque année, c'est toujours à la dernière minute qu'on communique le prix. Vous comprenez que ceux qui vont célébrer la fête sont en attente.
This is not a PQ. I haven't. No. I haven't even heard your request. Would your request be? Will the 1,000 cattle be coming? This is how we make a request. Please.
I don't know why you interrupted me, Mr. Deputy Speaker. I'm almost done. My request
No.
is Meat Authority importing the cattle, and when will be the price be fixed as soon as possible.
Voilà. Étaler tout ce qui
No.
est dans le journal.
I'm not playing politics. It's in the papers. You have to read
No,
it
the
again
request
if
is
you forgot it.
But we don't make, I mean, is it an urgent matter, the way you're putting it?
No.
Putting it?
Honorable VPN. please
No, I mean,
address to me.
look.
That's
I mean,
why
there are
I will
these-
stop here.
Now, look, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir. No government before has tried to bring cattle for Eid al-Adha. No. Now, please, you talk. Can you listen, please?
Honorable VPN.
You don't. Listen
Honorable
now.
VPN.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just
Reply
telling
to
you.
me.
I'm just telling you as well.
Honorable Adila Miamia,
Okay?
please.
Nobody did it before.
Listen to me. Address
We know what was the problem. We know how a lot of members of the community, Muslim community, were being fleeced before Eid al-Adha by some companies. That's why this government put money, I repeat it, they put money on the table trying to import. But there was a lot of problem. I said, I know what I've said in the paper, because we were working hard to bring, because I talked to the Prime Minister agreed, we know ça cinéma qui est dans tous les années là, how the price were being inflated. That's why the government put some money to try to help. Unfortunately, it didn't materialize. But that doesn't mean we are going to stop this. I plead maybe guilty, because this didn't materialize. I didn't manage to bring the cattle before Eid this year. But the work is going to go on. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Honorable Vice Prime Minister. You've well enlightened.
As far as the price is concerned, it hasn't been fixed yet. We had a meeting a couple of days ago. It's going to be fixed. I think the Minister of Commerce is not Mauritius. He'll be coming Monday. We'll fix it.
He's counting on you for a good price. Thank you. Have a safe trip back home.